when my financial situation was on the rocks, I briefly considered getting a job.
Hello and welcome to our Retire Early lifestyle.
So I'm attempting to do the final patching just before putting the roof coat on. I have decided to put the roof coat on. I do have the roof coat. I was reading the instructions on the roof coat, and they want you to use their crack sealant, the special crack sealant that they also make. Sounds like really good stuff, but I hate putting things off, and so I don't want to wait. They don't have it locally at the hardware store here, and so I've already got liquid nails, so why sit around waiting for stuff to get here through the mail and all that? So what do you guys think? I'm going to use liquid nails on the roof for patching. It's just a little bit of patching. I've got some pre-cut shingles here where we've got some damage here, in the roof coat instructions want you to repair that kind of stuff because they say their product will work better. This one is also, I won't be able to get all of them because I don't have enough shingles, but I was going to also fill this hole here. I wonder if there's anything I really need to do to that, but according to the, as I said, instructions. You know, can I tell you a little story? Years ago, when my businesses were going through my financial situation was on the rocks, I briefly considered getting a job. Don't cringe yet. I haven't had a job since I've been out of high school, and I'm now retirement age. And I believe that the retire early lifestyle is a gift from God, so I'm not going to do anything that is contrary to that. So getting a job, for me, things have to look really bleak for me to even consider it. But at that time, it was many years ago, I was considering it. And so, but it was in the same industry that I had businesses in, so it was something I knew. But it gave me a glimpse into how corporate. Now this is going to tick off a lot of people, so I have to be careful here, because I'm not trying to say that all people that work in corporations are bad people. As we've already seen ever since 2020, there is good and evil in the world. And if we pretend like it doesn't exist, and everything is just rosy, I mean, we're just really putting our head in the sand. As you can see, since 2020, that just isn't going to work. And we've got to call out evil for what it is. But just even back then, this was way before 2020, and so we didn't have the benefit of that kind of insight, although I had, on a personal level, a lot of different insights. And it's ultimately why I decided not to take the job. But it was one of many things. But I'll get to the point here. I was exposed briefly to the mentality, and it was a guy that, the manager that was there in that particular location, was previously an independent business person, and now he had gone into corporate, and he was extolling the virtues of all the benefits of being in corporate, all the resources that they have available and all that. Beyond that, though, we went out and did some work, and he was showing me their mentality. And to cut the story short, it is anecdotal. He made an example of how if we do things this way, why this will keep the customer it'll put the customer in a position where they have to come back to us, the corporation. And he was gloating over that. He was saying, you see, now look at what we've done. Now they have to come back to us in order to be able to solve their problem, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. And that just kind of, it just screams at me in a situation where I'm sitting here, I got this roof coat, and you're reading the instructions on it, and it's telling you, but you need to get our brand of crack sealant before you do the job and all this. And I'm going, okay, well, that sounds, nothing seems abnormal except for when we put a background into it on how some of these corporations, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of these corporations that you can see what their attitude is just from what they're advertising. And there are corporations advertising things that have already been determined that are harming people, but they're still advertising for people to do it on their little billboards. So I'm just saying, I'm sitting here going, well, okay, maybe I can just use this liquid nails because I already have it. and it's 1/5 the cost of their crack sealant, which their crack sealant's probably a really good product. I'm not doubting it for no reason. But what do you guys think? I'm gonna fill this hole with liquid nails. Then I'll get your opinion after the fact. But I've done a little research and should be able to do it. But that's kind of large, so I thought I'd give you that little background there, a little filler background, not filler. That little background of the kind of world we live in. And no, I'm not a roofer, I'm just winging it. That should work. So I've got some of the liquid nails on both sides here. And I pried that up a little bit. Tried to put it right underneath, just like that. That should work. Well, this is the big surprise here on the roof. I went over here to take a look and ended up prying that board off. It was glued on here, and it's a makeshift patch, which is temporary, but it didn't work. Water got under it. Looks like I'm going to have to fill this whole gully, I'm calling it. Fortunately, I have some of this black tar stuff, which I don't know how well that works. You see there's black tar stuff here, and it leaks. And this stuff leaks. So here's what I've determined. I won't be applying that tar stuff and filling that gully with it because it requires 60 days of curing before you can put any additional coatings over it. And since I'm going to be coating the roof, I'm not going to be I don't want to wait 60 days. Looks like I'm going to end up having to get that roof filler, siliconized, rubberized, waterproof filler, and fill that whole gully with that, and that usually dries real quick. So, but I'll have to wait for it to get here in the mail. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just fill that with the company filler. But until that comes in the mail, I'm going to put this tarp over it. Looks like I'm hooked on the company. Alright, so I've got most of the rainfall sheltered here. It's going to take 4 or 5 days to get that patch in the mail, so hopefully we won't get a torrential downpour in the meantime.